Yeah, I was in that Apple puts, but I gave it up. If you put it back in the swing channel, I might get back into it.
Good morning. I forgot that I said I was gonna speak on voice, but basically, let me actually add the watermark one more time. Watermark. Edit in here. Do top center. YouTube live stream. Background white, text black. So for this one, I did fail to engage on time because I was just busy with other things. The people that are watching on the actual screen before I started the stream saw my comment why I'm doing a voice on Twitter, but this would be another entry right here, technically. I do believe price heads lower. I probably should have had a limit order in here. One, sell. That's where it would be for the wrong brackets. Let's make this 5 points to match it, 5.25, and this would be 5 points flat. That would have been an entry, another gap. Something that is said in ICT's N series, that every single gap, and I'll show you in the video, we can play that section. Every single fair value gap that appears in the direction of the expansion can be used as an entry as long as the draw is not met yet, right? So right now we have the new week opening gap. I believe that that's going to be the draw. We were moving up all night on the major catalyst news. From here, maybe we can anticipate a retracement. It just tapped into the 12-hour open, right? A couple of hours ago, price opened exactly at this level, so I do believe that that's where price references itself using opening, using the anatomy of open, high, low, close. So I don't think that the draw is done yet, and I'm going to confirm. 21 ticks, my bad. This should have been like this. This should have been 20, my bad. 20 ticks. I fixed this, but not that. So now this should match here. We'll see if we get that entry. So technically, this entry did not deliver 5 points, so we'll see how it goes. Now, I don't want anyone to take it because there is no major catalyst that is, sorry, there is no time-based news, right, following the rules. There's a major catalyst, but it's open-ended, and it drove the market higher, potentially, who knows, right? Would the market have pumped without the news that just came out the weekend? Yes, no, no one knows, doesn't matter. We are red on the 4-hour, and we're almost turning red on the 12-hour as well. So we are now in this position as if I had just entered in the second attempt entry, right? So just observing it for now, as if I had entered right here. It's the same level, the same exact entry area, right there. The beginning of the gap, like the rules say. Now, I should probably actually write this down. No live trade. Is there a way? No, it actually just, that's fine. You know what I can see actually happening? I can see the 4-hour open being tested first. The 4-hour, when it opened, we're actually going to get stopped in this position. I can see it happening more so now. I just realized it when price was a little bit here lower. Saw this little gap, and this not being as respected. So now this will get stopped in one more tick, just mechanically. Invalidation for this technically is far higher, right? We don't care about that. Let me delete the first position and the second position. So someone asked or mentioned that, like, yes, there is no news, but there was a major catalyst, Biden dropping out. So technically, even though it's not following the rules, we can still take a trade because there's a major catalyst moving the market. That still does not permit the rules that are very specific on a time-based release entry, or time-based release that allows for a better entry, right? A good entry. And so the rules are very specific. They're in the PDF of my pinned tweet, or pinned in the channel. It's what allows. Interesting. So now we actually have a much larger gap in here, by the way. Volume imbalance, let's see. Is there a volume imbalance plus this? There is a volume imbalance that occurred as soon as the 4-hour opened. We're going to keep track of it, okay? It's from here to here. Volume imbalance. I'm using ICT's colors, yellow. This could be the entry, to be completely honest. But I'd rather it tap into the opening price of it first. Where can 5 points be permitted in here? I'm gonna do it because it doesn't matter. We're not taking the trade, but with this P, I do believe it can actually reject in here. Rationally, I do want it to go up 50%, right? From every time it expanded. Wow, my colors are weird. My colors are very weird. What did I do in here? Huh. My trading view is acting up. My tool that I normally draw with, 50%, is not showing. But I do believe that this volume imbalance was significant enough to be presented with the new 4-hour. Paired with a gap, this is a valid entry to give 5 points. I probably should have taken it, but I don't have enough disclaimers to say that this is not a live trade. I was trying to write it underneath, but this is a very valid PD array paired with a fair value gap to give it 5 points. If it hits 5 points, that was successful. But now, rationally, I do want to see either an SMT or a 50% retracement. Technically, it did offer 50, right? Why did it offer 50? Valid, in a very valid sense, because what I like to track is fair value. When price expands, it retraces to 50. This was valid, right? It offered 50 retracement. This was the last time price never offered 50. You track it until it offers it. Goes back up. Gives you, oh my god, that would, that's what I was trying to figure out. Meanwhile, price was going up. When I saw this, my trading view is acting up in a very odd way because I have specific colors for this that are not being presented. Interesting, interesting. So what happened here? Weird. Yeah. Anyway. Did I want anything else besides downside? No. My bias was still downside. I just expected a retracement into the 4-hour open. You can rewind the stream and see that I said that I wanted to see that, and that's what makes the most sense. Noticing the volume imbalance paired with the fair value gap, technically, right, it becomes a more probable area for price to reject. So further downside is expected for me. until an SMT is presented, so I'll track that in a moment. 5 minutes. Right here. There's so much LR, it's not even funny. LR is low resistance. One of my favorite elements in price. Okay. So the way price expanded, right, makes a beautiful trend line like this. This is what I'm looking to see for the rest of the indices. There is a high chance that it can happen. Higher chance, not high chance, higher chance that it can happen. But it's also a Monday, and not like it's usually a manipulation day. It's usually a engineering of liquidity day. So am I gonna force it? Not really. I'm gonna follow the opening prices to see what price can offer, but what I would like is, at least for NQ, because it typically leads more than ES, for it to melt lower, even if ES it still has to catch up. It'd be nice to see NQ liquidate some positions. So still don't want more upside. In fact, actually, I just realized the way it dropped, it actually left a gap in here. Let's do FVG. Let's do the beginning of the gap. Create limit order. It got a better entry than this. If it's supposed to deliver, it's supposed to go even lower. So this is the actual gap we're looking at for price to reject. Where was the entry that I got? Right about here. 86.75. Move this up to match the actual entry. One more lower. I did try to get lower, but didn't happen. Still don't recommend any position because it's a no news day. Again, I've said it before many times in the stream, or sorry, not many times, my bad. I said it yesterday for you guys privately, but then on the stream I explained why. It's not that I'm scared or anything, it's just that the time of news release is very important to, sorry, let's fix this to 20 ticks. And this should be 21 ticks from the entry, right? From the entry point. A 5-point stop loss if we measure it from here to there, and so on. 5 points, and this should be 5.25, right? So what was I gonna say? It's, yeah, I was saying that it's not that I'm scared, I don't want any position on, it's just that it's not even following rules. If we look at the economic calendar, there is no news catalyst whatsoever, not even a gray folder at all. I posted it yesterday privately in the group, and the idea behind it is that the news releases that we're looking for are very specific in time, and my favorite ones are going to be the 10 a.m. ones. So tomorrow, home sales is going to be a major catalyst, right? Not major, sorry, I read major catalyst this morning and now it's stuck in my head. It's not a major catalyst, it's a medium impact news event driver. So because of that, it makes manipulation a little easier to read, identify near sell side or buy side. That's the whole point of it. Regardless of the fact that Biden dropped out and maybe the market digested it as something very positive. None of that matters. What matters is a specific news release, right, that you can play off of. You can identify, see if you can identify the accumulation, and then from there, the next stage would be identifying the manipulation following the news release, after the news release. You're not supposed to trade before the news release, right? You're supposed to wait it out and see, and then wait for a displacement. That's pretty much it. A displacement will automatically create a market structure shift. That's what displacement is. It breaks through a structure. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna drink some coffee meanwhile. If we get stopped up, it does not matter to me. Again, there shouldn't be any live trades on this. So I do believe the draw is lower. Let's just check on these on a lower time frame one more time. I don't buy it. Price reverses when it takes a major key liquidity. So NQ hasn't reached this. We'll see how it goes. News release, right? Brings volatility, injects speed, shows you displacement better, shows you a narrative better, especially when a new 4 hour is printed. It just helps identify where key manipulations can happen following the rules that we have in the PDF. I've never streamed on OBS before with voice, so I hope my voice is clear, but we'll see how it goes. Looking at NQ one more time. Oh, it's on the 5 minute. We're on the 5 minute. There is an SMT, but it's not crazy. It's not highly probable. I don't really buy it. So, kind of want to look on the 1 minute just to glance at it here. Same lows by time. 8:55. No, not even the same lows. This is the same. We're likely going to get stopped out, but the whole point of it is to look at the direction, right? I'm accepting the mechanical stop loss, but the idea here is to see how the direction, right, is likely to expand lower. If NQ drops below this, fails to close below this, now a 5-point stop loss would be like massive. And obviously, like, I'm pushing too many buttons, right? The first one, had I engaged, would have been perfectly fine, done. Probably the easiest one. But now counting the number of trades, if you rewind the stream, counting this one, it would still be break even. So if I do see any form of reaction, because there is a gap right here that it never visited, tapped 50% of it, but does it permit a 5-point stop loss, right? The rules say you can put a 5-point stop loss, find an entry based on it. If I do this, it's not permitting a 5-point stop loss. In one of the slides, you'll see that it says that. Now, we can choose to minimize it by choosing the midpoint of it, 50%, or what he calls as consequent encroachment, CE of the wick, or sorry, CE of the fair value gap. But it still doesn't permit for a 5-point stop loss. It's not safe above a swing high. Now, if I see a rebalance, or if I see some form of wick, I can tell that this is somewhat balanced, that the actual candle that displays should not be violated. Therefore, this would be valid for it. The candle that did present the gap itself should be protected. Therefore, a few points or a couple of ticks above its high is good enough for an entry to take it back down. So that would be the entry. Even though I didn't, the ones that I just throw on the actual position without engaging it are moving more in my favor. So going back to NQ, I'm looking at that high. See that high right there? Why is price breaking back below it? I'll throw in the order. If it actually hits there, great. If it doesn't, it's still a risk and reward tool position. Delete this to make this a little bit cleaner. We don't need this, just to clean it up a little bit more. New 30-minute just printed, right? 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, midnight, and 1 week. Even though the week was expanding up and it looks green, I'm still taking downside positions because I do believe that the expansion is still not done yet. There's so much liquidity that was built overnight into this push that it would be nice to take about half of it off the table, right? To liquidate some positions that trust that these lows are safe or a trend line or whatever it is. So that permits an actual. This one does too. I like to draw my gaps. I don't like an indicator. And I know some can be presented on different time frames. That's what an indicator is useful for, when you want to track it without having to switch time frames. Sure. But I do like to have control of how I draw it, when I remove it, and so on. The gray little the gray rectangle here is just for us to, by the way, this is 5 points, yeah. Midpoint of a large gap, following the rules, is valid for an entry. That's why this is where it's at right now, because this is a large move with a large gap that did not permit for a 5-point stop loss lower, but now moving it a little lower, a little higher, allowed it to be protected by the candle that it came from, right? It'd be cool to see the 30-minute opening price being manipulated first. That way to get the fill. It doesn't matter if it doesn't. Let's see if there's even a chance on NQ. Not really. It's possible, but what I do like is that they still didn't deliver to the low. Still a higher low in here, and I think we got filled now on that entry. We should be filled. If this does stop out, I'm not gonna put in any positions, but would it gun for the new day opening gap from last week? This is the new day opening gap from last week if you look at the daily chart right now. Right here. This was Thursday into Friday. I'm tracking it right here with that color. It's always blue. I should actually draw this one as well. New day opening gap. And this is the new week opening gap. So even the initial entry, oh actually yeah, it wouldn't have delivered. So yeah, we're gonna get stopped out. I'm pretty sure it's stopped out already. But more importantly, it's building traps. It's building traps, and this is primarily why, like, you want to have the news and you want to act with the news, but also identify what days are manipulation. You guys should know this by now. Most people that have been introduced to the concepts, you understand that Monday doesn't deliver the weekly price, right? Price doesn't reach the weekly objective on a Monday ever. It starts engineering liquidity, building, accumulating positions, support, resistance, whatever the heck it is, for people to start trusting for the week, and then it wrecks it, it delivers to it. The easiest, simplest clue that I believe is this. Just these two. These two red, let me make them blue so it's more identifiable now. The way it climbed up using these higher lows is the most suspicious thing you could ever see. We'll come back to it, but this is a form of it's something that I've observed time and time again for market makers to plant, right? To throw in a little sprinkle as a trap for retail that believes, oh, it's a higher low, it's a trend line, it's moving up and whatnot. The fact that this didn't come to take out the low of this, nor did ES, so no SMT whatsoever, is a very big tell sign of spooling, offering prices higher just to take out bears, right, from the highs, as well as like bears who trusted this as being a resistance, basically. For example, FBG, red, and attracting buyers as well. So instead of trying to get into another position right now, we'll wait until the 4 hour comes back in line, to be completely honest. I just wanted to see if this was going to deliver it. It just got wicked out, so I guess traded above it by how many ticks? By 2 ticks. Even though it seems like it's upside, the logic behind it is that it was being built off of last night, yesterday. And so for now, I'm not going to take any positions that are downside until it actually trades lower than the 4 hour open. Let's look at NQ. Super aggressive upside. Oh, God. Should have noticed it, but textbook. Also, the same way I'm looking at this, right, as a higher low, this being a lower high. I honestly did not realize this, or I didn't even look at it. It's gonna come for it. There's almost like no reason for it not to. If it offers a gap into it, I'll take the entry into it. Let's see if I can offer a 30-second one, because I know it's like too late now. Either NQ or ES. Somehow I assumed that this was already done with a higher high on one instrument, but that was my mistake. I didn't even look at that, to be completely honest. If that's the target for both of them. Crumble one more time. Please give us a fake resistance push down. If it happens, that's cool. It'll give us an entry. If it doesn't happen, it blasts through it. That's even better. But that's a buy model being completed only because I failed to check or recognize that no SMT occurred in here, no higher high. Just like how this, I believe, is a trap. Like the way it came down but not quite. Even in this simple area right here. I'm hoping by the PM session this would actually deliver. We could take it in the PM session. But nice. Fake resistance, right? Right next to the high. Pull back first. Give me a 1 minute entry. 1 minute. Oh, no, chill. Oh my god, I was too late to this. This would be the 1 minute entry, right? 5 points for ES. No, my bad. Is the target even 5 points away? I don't know. Yeah, it can happen. Imagine this was the entry, right? Make this blue for now as a bullish gap. As if we entered in here. I didn't react fast enough, but I go back and rewind. I wanted to actually see price putting a fake resistance before the high to attract more liquidity one more time before it reaches the target. By now it should be obvious that we're gunning for the high. Price is gunning for the high. So I wanted a 30-second gap, but even a 1 minute was offered. As soon as price went into it, it would have been an entry for the upside following the expansion. The way price is moving, all green, yeah, that's a great target that you can aim for. So perfect. And from here, what we want to pay attention to is the actual highs, right? It's the main thing we're looking at right now. Buy some liquidity. If this reaches a high, if it actually reaches 08.75, that's the actual target. I'm going to be monitoring it right here because I do want to pay attention to this area. Open high, low close. I don't need that. Open high. Symbol title. Oops, should not have done that. But yeah, the way it's just climbing up, it's just building low resistance, and that's why even when the short happened, right here, or pull, it broke up and then came back down. Did price take a major pool of liquidity for it to reverse? No. After a certain point of time, you'll start noticing that these are little traps. It's just a form of manipulation. One of the forms, in a different way, right? Placed in. So, let's go back to this. I'll throw on the entry itself. The price is not supposed to reverse without taking out the high. Now, if we look at this, right? 5 points in here. Let's see if it actually taps the actual order as if we had entered right here, because that's the gap itself at that level. Putting another fake resistance right before the target. Well, that's a coincidence, right? Filled, not yet. As if we had just entered in there. Let's see. Same exact entry area, right there, where my mouse is. If it fills it, great. If it doesn't matter. Cool. So, oh, Dow Jones looked really weak earlier, right? A few minutes ago, from the lows, Dow Jones was much further down. Do I trust an S&T with Dow Jones? Not really. I haven't tested it enough to really trust it. Every time I believed that it was going to be enough, it wasn't enough. So. But it is fascinating to see, because I thought these two were so behind, they're like halfway. My true belief, the objective is one of these two guys hits the buy side up there to create the S&T. But it's just funny that I noticed the Dow Jones was doing it as well. Even though it was far behind, it was much lower. So ES is reaching it. Compare ES to NQ. Even the way NQ is dropping, it's still pulling. A nice trick. Low resistance. Right? Did price take a major pool of liquidity? No. And it's pretending it's a trendline resistance or whatnot. If we can just place this on red for now, as if it's resistance. Price typically falls or after sweeping the highs, after taking major highs. If it does this, I don't really trust it. Give it a moment and see how it goes, but ES did not reach the high itself. It didn't take out the actual high, so we'll keep watching it. It's almost actually 8 a.m. my time. I'm laughing because obviously, holy smokes. I have no explanation for this. I mean, it is a Monday. Not my highest probable day. I have a high probability model that I trade once a week. It typically happens past Wednesday when liquidity is already planted, engineered, ready, and whatnot. The ES position is going to get stopped out right here, the long side. But anyway, going back to what I said about there's no explanation for this that I know of, because I can't justify that Dow Jones is enough SMT. I know T-Trades and other people have talked about it and used it, SMT with Dow Jones. I haven't really found enough information or data for it. I just haven't tested it enough. I try to keep my pairs that I watch closer to two only, and I want to look at primarily ES and NQ. That's the there's so many clues that get dropped between the two when SMT is valid that it's more than enough to look at. We don't need to add a third instrument to verify it. So that's why I completely dismissed it, but this would be funny if it was because of it. I don't know. I guess I'll ask T-Trades or other people about this, but I don't buy it, even though I like the downside. The fact that ES did not even trade one tick higher, if it had done that, then yes, downside. But typically when SMT occurs, one instrument is supposed to create a new higher high or a new lower low, counter to the other instrument. I categorize this as like part of the trapper inducing or like building new resistance. So since we're coming out of the we're coming out of the trading hour zone that we're supposed to be looking for setups in. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself because I also noticed that there's a gap right here that I probably missed while talking, but it doesn't matter. The idea is that I think the PM session would be a great opportunity. We'll just be patient with it. I'm going to keep my stream on regardless, but this gap would be completely valid to take. Is it A plus high probability? No, we're missing the news driver, we're missing so many elements. But in theory, this could actually deliver 5 points to you. It doesn't have to be following the actual bias itself. You care about 5 points, and that's what truly matters. And I think since we're coming across the new hour, which ends our actual session for the trading window, then what happens is that we're going to be referencing this in the PM session. So the new 4 hour opened in here, and they don't have to sell it off right now. They can keep playing around the market until the new 4 hour comes in, and then it sweeps the previous 4 hours high. That's a possibility, right? Or if they deliver lower, then we can actually take it back up if it tries to reclaim it. Let's just say that, to keep it simple. But the upside for this did not offer. And in fact, it got violated too. Interesting. Like running on 4 hours of sleep. But this is where that position would be. But I truly believe that if there is a plan that I would like to see, right? It's like playing chess. I want to be ready when my opponent, obviously Mark is not my opponent, but you get the idea. I want to be ready to see potential moves that I can read what the next moves the counterparty is trying to do. And I think that I'm well prepared. I will be far more prepared in the PM session if and when my counterparty makes this move. It's the best read that I can get. A new 4 hour sweep, right? We're exiting our time window right now in about 4 minutes, so probably should have done that entry. But anyway, it gave another entry still in the same area. Drawing the tool on the beginning of the gap, right? If I hide the indicators, I guess I have to focus more when I'm talking, but right, that's the beginning of the gap. That's the beginning of the actual entry tool. Right here. From here down to here, it would offer 5 points, technically. So, valid entry. I guess I'm just trying to explain more that I'm not even as focused and running on low sleep, but it's fine. It's simple enough. And I'm not taking it. I think that's why I'm permitting this far more. The people who've done this with me the past couple of weeks, I'm not trying to take every move. 0. I just want the one and out. But since I'm not taking any positions, I would like to read price in real time, tape read or whatever you want to call it. Sorry. That's funny. Every position that I throw on is gonna go against it from now on. It's against the rules, obviously, against everything. But following the 4 hour, right? Where is did I mark it? Yeah, it's actually here. Price is still not even red on that 4 hours, so because of that, it's far better to wait for the new 4 hour, even the next hour. If the next hour sweeps the previous hour, still valid. But making our rule-based system, it's a different way of minimizing exposure to risk. Let's just say that. Probably like one of the messiest days for sorry. Watching this NQ. If NQ fails to displace, different story, but if it actually breaks it, the position can actually work in here. Which, if they do this, I would rather they, but if they pull this off, right? If price starts falling from here without actually going higher, then what I want to see is a buildup of resistance until the new 4 hour comes in 3 more hours, right? That's gonna come at 2 p.m. Eastern. So keep this area as resistance, show that price is rejecting in here multiple times, etc. Come in with a new 4 hour, sweep it either on ES or NQ. I don't care about Dow Jones. I don't really track it, so it doesn't matter. But let's go back to NQ one more time to track that area. I don't like how it failed to displace in there. We're coming close to that area where I said it's like a trap. But I'd rather them also, as well as build resistance, fake resistance, right? Build fake support as well. So that's your fake resistance. Nope. Not gonna work out because NQ failed to displace in here. Did it leave a gap? No. What are the weakest push downs because it did not take any highs before going lower? I could see it. This took that. It actually can be valid. And this last high took all the highs next to it, so there is an actual chance for it to continue lower as it wants to pretend that it is. If we look at this, it's just retracing to 50% between this high and this low to proceed lower. That's cool. The fact that this high came to take out these guys and this one already did, good enough for me to take it to the downside still more for NQ. It's a little cleaner. Crazy divergence, right? The Russell 2000 and Dow Jones pushing up. They're not moving in tandem, these two guys. Well, these four guys all together. We are technically outside of the operating time window. You are allowed to enter a position that was presented in the previous hour, so like between this zone 10 a.m. until 11, this gray shaded area. If you see a gap or something that was formed in here, then it is permissible, basically following the rules, to take the trade because it was like the PD area was formed in that time window. Not seeing anything that I like, but waiting for buy side will be far better, and I would rather they leave it for the new 4-hour candle. If they want to take it with a new hour, then that's a different story, right? So what do I have in here? this gap. Clean up the chart, too many elements. Obviously it stopped out. We should mark where the new hourly was printed, right here. That is 11 a.m. EST. Right. H1, 1 hour candle. So much LR, it's like bloody. So much. It's ridiculous. It's actually fascinating to see. If you can't recognize this, you need to be like watching the charts more instead of focusing on trades. But these, I've been in them so many times to recognize that it is low resistance. It's finally ticked a bit higher, but we won't engage. We're not even allowed to engage right in this hour, but for the sake of just me streaming on publicly with voice, I figured why not. Only if the new hour flips red in here. Only when the new hour flips red, H1, right? Why? Because after it did this, it just took all the liquidity from the morning. New hour is here. If it displaces below it, then we're gonna wait for a retracement and that's it. So H1. It's the same principle. I'm just keeping my focus narrowed by the 4-hour candle, but the same thing can apply for the new hour. If we look at it from this perspective, right? Looking at the 4 hours, especially the ones that happened at the 10 a.m. candle. This one was 10 a.m., but it didn't take the previous highs already. Yet, this is what happened. 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. drop, right? Oh, that was a CPI candle. Let's ignore CPI. 6 a.m., 10 a.m. continuation. Show me some nearby 10 a.m. Yeah, right here. This is what I like to see. A 6 a.m. and then a 10 a.m. candle that sweeps the previous 4 hours high. It makes it the best. It's so easy to read, let's just say that, right? When there's sell side or buy side. The same principle happens with the 4 hour. What is this? Why do I have so many markups in here? Delete all of this. Don't need that. The same principle with the new hour right here. Price just took both 9 a.m. candle and 10 a.m. candle, right? Because they put in the fake resistance pretending it's like resistance up there. I swear if they close it, we'll take it. Let's go back to here. Beautiful. This is like the perfect reaction you want to see when the new hour sweeps the previous hour, and why low resistance is going to be an easy slide for it. I would rather it retrace, but bummer. Anytime price just climbs up in a very slow, stupid manner, it's awfully suspicious to me, and that's why I was warning against low resistance. Look at that. What happened to those lows right here? What happened to those lows? When did this happen? Only when ES took the high, right? See that crazy drop? And that's why I don't really trust the upside, but busy teaching the 1 hour thingy in the different tab. I'm glad I explained it. You can rewind as I'm explaining how the new 4 hour comes in, takes the previous 4 hours high for a easy recognizable setup. Same thing we wanted to see with the new hour. About 20 something minutes ago, I said that even though it's not in our time window, this would still fall under the new 1 hour sweeping the previous hours. And that's a crazy drop, especially on NQ. Holy cannoli. It's too large of a gap that it makes it hard to find a 5-point trade in here. In this, let's measure 5 points. If it does it, 20 more seconds. In 20 more seconds, if it actually retraces to offer the gap up here, the candle can be, the actual stop loss can be placed in here. In 10 more seconds, we're gonna draw the gap. It's this big so far. Only there. This is not following the rules. This is not the entry, but I'll show you what it is. It can still offer it, but it's not as safe as this high. Because like, basically, this is an entry that is aggressive, following what I wanted to see, but technically this high is not being covered by the stop loss. The stop loss is not high enough for this position following the rules, right? This is complete violation of the rules because the entry should have been higher to at least use a candle's high. Something like that, but we'll see how it goes. Crazy. Right when the new hour like I literally was coming down, right? If you guys rewind this, we were in this slide or like this section here. I was just showing you guys the 4 hour candle, right? One of the best ones and easiest reads is the new 10 a.m. candle 10 minutes ago or whatever. And then I said the same thing I want to see with the 1 hour. It can actually do that as long as ES takes it. And look at what happened. As soon as that happened, I drilled down to the 1 minute, like, oh, it can happen now. And that's how easy it should be, highly probable. Even though no entry was offered, you can actually take this soup. If you actually believe it, I mean, when you have enough backtesting or practice and whatnot, you can take it with sound risk management. It doesn't matter. The entry itself doesn't, it's just an assistance tool. But at some point you're going to be more advanced to take those entries. If I did believe that, right? If I had seen this, failed to close, failed to displace higher, then I could have just thrown a position somewhere here that says, okay, can I place a 5-point stop loss up there, right? To where it can flip. Sorry, 1 second. Did I move this? Did I not have another one up there? I'm just forgetting right now. Can I place a 5-point stop loss somewhere and accept the loss if I'm wrong? Because I do believe it pulling down. If yes, then so be it. Did I move it? Did I use the same one? Oh, it's in a different layout. That's why. My bad. It's in a different layout. So, now let's go back to this. The lesson behind it, right? where I said this is not following the rules, this is not a safe high, we are reaching the stop loss, which is 20 ticks, right? Following those rules, it's a 20 tick stop loss. The rules say if there's a gap that's massive, like this one, use the midpoint of it as an entry, right? That would have been a better entry. And in fact, we're just going to compare it with MES for now. Let's see if it ever retraces to it. If it offers it again, we're going to get filled in it. But right here, right click, trade, sell one MES. If it taps one more time, great. 20 ticks. This is following that rule. Here, take profit 21. It's a rational retracement to 50%, even better. But this is a gap that's large enough that we can use the midpoint of it for the entry, using a little bit over the high itself for protection, for stop loss. Is it the best? No. I prefer an entry that permits this. It's much safer. Price is less likely to trade up there now compared to this, but we'll still accept the outcome because it doesn't matter. We're not taking those trades on live, we're just studying it for the purpose of recognizing the rules, understanding what to look for, following the actual system itself. So this is the midpoint entry. We'll see how it goes. 5 points is just here. Versus, even this one didn't stop out. Interesting. It almost did. It almost touched it. Huh. We'll see how it goes. So obviously the new hourly right here, 11 a.m. Eastern, flipped red. So we have some form of time alignment that permits it going lower. Right. In this hour, markets are selling, and this one delivered, and more. And where's the MES trade? The better one that was a midpoint entry delivered, following the rules, following the 1 hour being red as well. Unlike the shorts that were presented in here, every time frame was still green. We're coming up to the new hour that could easily flip the alignment to somewhat red for selling, basically. So I should actually, I was hiding the indicators, I didn't realize, for something, but ever since the new hour and new 30-minute printed, took the high, right? It opened in here, 11 a.m., trade higher, 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 take the high, flip back down, and then sell. Contrary to the previous hour, the new 4 hour came in at about here, 10 a.m., with the new hour, 30, and so on, sold into the 12, pushed up, gave us an entry for this, offered 5 points, and then traded higher. As it did that, it pretended that there was resistance in here. It did not take the previous hour's high, the 10 a.m. candle, right? 10 a.m. is here. Did not take the 9 a.m. candle's high. Little stalling in here happened, and as soon as it took it, suddenly, I'm pretty sure some bad news maybe came in, whatever, right? Like, as, oh, market fear, whatever, etc. Doesn't matter. We don't care about that stuff. The trade is done, by the way. It actually met the target, but we'll keep it on. Actually, it doesn't matter because we'll see if it actually goes further. No, it's ES, my bad. No, I'm used to NQ. It's supposed to be a mechanical exit. I just forgot to put a bracket for this one, but the MES one did actually exit already. It finished it, obviously. Better entry, better midpoint, big gap, and this is what you're supposed to be looking for. For the people that like have been newer to this, haven't caught on in the last couple of weeks, big gaps, we have to wait for a bigger retracement. If it doesn't offer it, then there's no entry. There's no guarantee that you're going to get filled. But that's also why typically you want to place an entry at the beginning of a gap more often than not. As long as a stop loss can fit 5 points, as long as you can fit the stop loss itself above a swing high or a displacement candle high, then you want to enter immediately, because not every time price is going to retrace into a fair value gap or tap into it 50% it or whatnot. But from there, you want to see, does the stop loss fit above a high or above a swing point? If yes, good. If not, wait for it, or you can dismiss it altogether, or see if you can use a midpoint of it if it's large enough. In this case, it was large enough that we had to protect ourselves by putting a stop loss a little bit higher, getting the entry in the midpoint of the fair value gap right here, right? That's the midpoint of it, and then take the trade from there. This is going to be a lot cleaner than the other one with executions, but that's the midpoint. Sell, exit 5 points, and done. So, going back to this area, right? Do you guys remember what I said about this? I marked it actually with a horizontal line, but I said this is stupid. I actually said it was stupid. Go back to the time where this was planted, right? Placed, booby trap. And I said it's stupid the way it actually went up. It doesn't make sense. And now what happened to price around it, right? For both of them. Even this was such a small little clue, but it was so obvious that I had to make a point of it. For those of you that are new, you don't really know my style, maybe it's fine, but there's a group of people that I've traded with that they know my I guess style, or like when I say tingly sensation of like, oh, I don't really buy it, I'm not buying this, there's a reason for it. I recognize these traps because I've been them over and over, right? You can't walk over a trap in the forest or whatnot many times and then expect to have different results, right? Every time you ow, like my foot or something. No, you have to start recognizing these traps, and I don't know how to explain it, but now obviously I recognize them better. You can see my channel, I've recorded them in real time, and I haven't been editing or recording as much as I want to, but there's a lot of evidence behind it. I've been bit so many times, I've been trapped so many times that these elements in price, I start trusting my gut. It's like, no, it hurt last time, right? It hurt me before, a couple years ago, that I now am looking at this differently now. I don't buy it. I'm not buying this. Sean, I don't know. They might have just like that. Hang on a second. I just saw a DM from you, or a message from you. I don't know if you're listening to me on Twitter. I'm talking assuming that it is, like, you guys can actually hear me. I have no clue. But let me just double check. Where did you tag me? I have no clue where you tagged me. Futures chat. Perfect. Sean. Can you comment just under? Look at that seller on R2. Can you comment just under your comment to see if you're actually able to hear me? I don't know if you're listening on the stream itself. And is the voice quality different than Discord? Better, worse? I feel like I was hearing more background noise, maybe the fan or ambient noise. And it will be delayed by like 10 seconds, so if you can comment underneath. I don't know if you're actually listening, Sean. They bought it, he said, they bought it all back just like that. Same with YM, both sides. Wrecked them. He posted this at 8:05. I'm just seeing this alert, or it's 8:24 my time. My phone just sent me the tag, the notification, because he tagged me from a message that was 8:05 a.m. Fascinating. Anyway, what happened to price? What happened to that, right? That was so crazy. Absolutely nuts. Telltale signs, so many LR, so much LR. So much. All of this was just spooling, right? Pretending there is upside, basically. And then a little bit of pretending in here that there's resistance. The market maker buy model completes in here by just trading above it, and that's it. I'm glad I didn't end the session wanting the new 4 hour to come up and take that. And I'm glad I mentioned it. Go back in the video and you'll see that I did say that I wanted to see price taking the previous hour's high, previous session, whatever it is. It just makes it easily identifiable, and more so when a new hour is opened near the high around that time. That's another like confluence right there. So why is my screen frozen on Twitter? I'm just noticing it. Sorry. Whoa. Oh my god, this thing is so bad. My screen is frozen on Twitter. One moment. I'm so sorry. I don't know how long it's been frozen. I have no clue. I don't know if this was shown in it with this. That's frustrating. I have no clue. I'm going to rewind the stream later to see. I don't know if Sean is. Maybe that's why Sean left. Because he messaged like 20 minutes ago and then I saw the reply late. So I don't know if he's still. Let me reply to him. Are you on? Futures charts. Overflow replied to me. Thank you so much, by the way, for the feedback. You are very low on YouTube. There are a few people on the stream trying to let you know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this better audio? Testing, 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 testing. One moment. I'm just getting feedback about the audio. I lowered it a little bit because let me see if I can show this on the stream itself. Application window. Just do whole window. Again, I'm terribly sorry about the stream. Earlier it was like lower than this because I didn't want to enter the yellow area. I don't know if it was like creating any static noise. I heard it earlier with the beginning of the stream, but I was trying to fix this to not exceed this. Audio will sound different on OBS compared to like Discord. Far better audio capture on Discord, but I was trying to keep my audio in the green levels not too high so it doesn't create that static noise. But I just got feedback from somebody that you guys are trying to let me know. I'm really sorry about that. I am so sorry. I don't have any comments, or I should actually pull up a different device just for that to keep track of it. my first stream talking on voice, I guess. But anyway, thank you so much for the feedback, and I hope this sounds better. I'm gonna, because I don't want it to go all the way up to the red zone, but I think this is fine. I think this is fine. It was actually much lower in here. I had it lower to here earlier, trying not to go too high. But I think this is good. Yeah, it's not touching the red at least, so I'll keep that in mind. Display capture, window, no, application, and then we want trading view. Testing, okay. So, such a clean trade, or like chart, obviously did not take any of this. It doesn't even follow my weekly system, but it was primed to go downside, right? Even if as it was going up, I still said there's still more downside. Go back to the beginning of the stream and you'll see that I want what? The new week opening gap, right? That's typically the magnet for it. I'm not trading this. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I preferred that you didn't, just in general. Does it have to take out the new week opening gap right now? No. It can still provide some form of trend line for the next few days first, beforehand. But if it does happen, typically these gaps are like magnets for price to trade into back and forth. We're bumping our heads against, or I guess ES was bumping its head against the new day opening gap that was created between Thursday and Friday. I explained it earlier in the stream. That's what that blue rectangle is. From Thursday to Friday, that's where we were. They loaded shorts in there, the market, and voila. Amazing. This started some retracement, right? Completion of a bimodal back up, but the way it was doing it was awfully suspicious. That you want to see price sweep, take previous candles to trade higher, right? You can trust it more if it does that. If it doesn't, it's obviously suspicious. 912.5, 913.2. This candle took the previous candle's low. Fine, perfect. This did not do this. These two were left behind. 3 left behind easily. So much like so many little traps here and there, like, and then as it went higher, right, this last bit right there, just climbing up higher, no retracements and whatnot. If I ever draw this tool, you guys, the people who know me, know that I use this tool for a specific purpose. It's drawing low resistance, LR, that's it. So right back down, right, only after the new hour came, took the previous hour's highs, 2 hours highs. We explained that earlier with the, did I use this one? I used ES. 1 hour. Well, these are all our executions. Today was a mixed bag, I'll just say that. Because number one, not following the rules perfectly, because I didn't care about it. I'm not looking to trade. I said it earlier in the Discord that I wanted to let this day pass by, but I'll tape read it with you guys. This is what made it better, probable, right? The new 4 hour traded higher, put in resistance. The new hour comes in, takes the high, flips back down. Butter, literally butter, right? If you can spot these, ICT actually has a tweet on this. If you treat the 4 hour candle as if it's a daily candle, right? Take the previous day high to flip back down, or take the previous day low as if it's a day, right? Or some sell side to take it back up, then it opens a whole new world of trades. And so I was just walking through this, go back into the stream, rewind it. 4 hour candle, if it happens to be at 10 a.m. that takes the previous hour and flips, shows you a gap, it's not guaranteed. Nothing is promised for you. But what you can do is control how much risk you put on, and you accept it, and that's it. Right? We did it with MES after the rules presented, everything, after the new hour came in. But the new 4 hour right here doesn't really show. It actually did it, but it was far easier to see on the hour because it took a long time for the new 4 hour to flip red, right? This would be H4, flip back red, versus the new hour where it came from up here, H1, and that's the 11 a.m. candle. So when you see that, the new hour comes in and takes 2 more hours behind it and flips, that's how we took the MES trade. Same exact way. And I know MES is a little bit muddy. That's annoying as hell. That is annoying. And that's why I chart ES. I truly chart ES. I take positions on MES or vice versa. Like for not vice versa. I chart NQ and I take positions on MNQ. But I trust more ES just as a general chart. The big mini, right? The bigger mini on ES and NQ far more because it's where the larger players are, right? To keep it simple. Even though the swept it, I wouldn't have trusted it. I never do. Even when I started back in 2022, I still used ES as my main chart. I never did MES as my primary chart. I don't really trust it. This is one discrepancy that just annoyed me right now, but whatever. But following that, because even here, the previous hour did not even take it, right? But that's why, again, I don't chart MES, I chart ES. It's going back to ES one more time. Same area, same everything. The previous hour takes everything, flips back down. Awesome, great. Go back to MES now. Finding that same area, we saw a gap. And we said, hey, this is a riskier entry on ES. I'll show you guys why it's not good, because if we did enter there lower, the high is not as protected. By the way, I'm not looking for any more trades. This now delivered to the downside that it needed to on a Monday. This is good enough. That's a massive range for ES to be giving back and forth. For ES, 1, 2, 3. And don't expect a flush, a straight flush, or hey, we're breaking support, let's go further. It can happen. I have even less FOMO of missing out, like completely, for more downside. I don't think, I'd rather them still plant higher time frame support, trend line, upside, LR, whatever it is, for the week, to be completely honest. Do I want this week to be a sell-off? Not necessarily. It can actually happen better next week. If this week becomes a retracement, just so we're clear, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get back to this point in a moment. If this week becomes the retracement, so that last week was like this down day, right? A down thing. This week becomes a retracement up. I don't know to what extent. Green candle. What I would like, if there isn't a continuation for downside following whatever's been happening, the same thing I want to see on the weekly chart. Price taking previous week's high and flipping back down. If that happens, right? If that somewhat happens, even if it's lower, even if it's like, doesn't matter where it is, right? As long as it does that, we're keeping track of the weekly opening price. You always have to keep track of it. By Wednesday, typically, you're trying to analyze where do you see price heading to, right? You narrow down the probabilities down to like 3 or 2, and on Thursday, or like, sorry, by Wednesday morning, you're looking at those probabilities, but at the end of the day, you should have at least like, you should have it down to 2 or 1. That's it. That way, if there's a delivery for Thursday, it's going to be a really probable trade, highly probable trade that you can take with sound risk management. obviously. So down week, retracement week this week, and then flip it. I prefer this happening next week. This week make it a little bit bullish if there is any continuation. Right? If we don't get this, right, this is assuming that we're just trading up with hardly any manipulation. Since last night price only pushed up, there's a whole different thesis if suddenly we start selling today or tomorrow or tonight in the evening. If we then trade lower into the weekly opening and sweep the previous candles low and whatnot, that's a different analysis. But as long as we're still holding and pushing above the weekly open the way it did last night, then I'm looking for this as expansion. So far, this is what I'm going with. That's what's being presented so far. And if that's how they're going to close the week, then this would be a nice A+ setup that I would like to see for next week. But I'm already giving out a plan that is too soon on a Monday, and that's why waiting for Wednesday typically makes it a lot better, right? You have more data, more input, more information to go with. So anyway, the point in this right here was this midpoint of the gap, right? This is the fair value gap itself. This is the FVG, right? Should be known by now. We took it on MES following the rules of entry. If the gap is too big and it doesn't permit a 5-point stop loss, just like we did forcing the entry on ES, then you can put the entry a little higher in the midpoint of it. And that's how this trade was done, right? It sold off right at the end of it. It sold off, it closed the position at the end of it and the end of the bracket. Now, I'm gonna, no FOMO, I really don't care. I swear to God, all this, I have no risk on. I'm not, again, you shouldn't have FOMO. When ICT said that there's a 5-point setup every single day, guaranteed, no matter what, I will always have some exceptions to the rule, right? No matter what. But there is a lot of validity to it that should allow you to not feel FOMO, even though there's a little bit more downside right now. I truly don't care. We're not trying to capture every move. We actually, like the way I've been doing it in, like privately before going right now speaking on YouTube, we've been taking the one setup only one per session, sometimes even one per day. Whatever is cleanest, take it, done. But I figured, since I'm here speaking publicly, like turning on the microphone and showing it on live, and the fact that we didn't have any news catalyst with time, right, like at 10 a.m. or so, I would have preferred it to just be a tape reading lesson as to identify proper entry techniques, right, following rules, why an entry was better than the other or vice versa. That's what I wanted to focus on for this session. But the whole point of it is to not trade. The whole point of it is to actually be done and walk away, right? Several members, like I actually asked for the feedback of how did you feel during or after the trade, and what it's like. Just to be completely honest, like it shouldn't matter what the outcome is, because you're trying to be mechanical, you're trying to build consistency. But if you actually like any of these entries, you can take it on 2 separate accounts if you wanted to. One using the 5-point system and one for continuation, right? You can literally have a mechanical, I guess, different system, different account that can take the same entry, but instead of closing the position in 5 points, if there's any continuation, you can automatically move the stop loss to break even and see if it continues, resumes from there. If it does, then so be it, right? That's something you can consider, but the focus, especially if you're new, especially if you're trying to get a system mechanical, shouldn't be on trying to capture or feel FOMO, trying to look at this and look at it in hindsight and say, oh my god, it paid even more, why did I close it at 5 points? You're going to see so many more positions that only give you the 5 points and then some, a little bit, like 2 more points or whatnot, and then start trading the opposite way. It's supposed to be that mechanical, so that way you let go of your own emotions, your own fear or greed, right? And I'm not saying do not capture, but if you're still trying to learn this, still trying to adapt and build good positive habits and suppress bad negative habits, then your focus should be on 5 points strictly, and that's it. Later, when you build that consistency, when you see your account, your trading journal being consistent, then you can say, hey, you know what, I will take the same trades. I can take the same trades using 5 points on one account, but also separating a different account for larger potential continuations, right? With that, you can literally automate a trailing stop loss that goes into break even. That way it becomes a risk-free trade. You already capitalized on one account for 5 points, but then the next one, right? If we pull up the same order right here that we entered on, right? Imagine on one account, you get out 5 points, you're done. But on the second account, as soon as it hits the take profit, or like technically it wouldn't hit the take profit because you're trying to build an automated trailing, you can say, hey, if I ever get offered 5 points, move my risk to break even. Move my risk to 1 point, whatever it is you want to choose. Or in profit, let me not lose even commission by 1 tick, right? Or sorry, not 1 tick, 1 point. That's up to you. You see this and you think, oh my god, it went down so much and whatnot, I could have gotten more. Sure, but the times that it doesn't, you're gonna wish that you took that profit, right? So the best way to do it is to separate into 2 separate accounts. One fully mechanical, 5 points, you can let go. The second one is still mechanical, where it trails the stop loss to break even, and let it continue. If it does have any continuation, you can do that, right? So I'm gonna stop in here, right, explaining this stuff, and I'm gonna look at the comments on YouTube because I have no clue what you guys are saying. I'm really sorry about this. How do I pull this up? Overflow, thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. I had no idea about the audio. Iron Jaw, no worries, it's okay. I wrote it in the 1 second. Sorry, let me just check. I've never done the stream before, so I have no clue. Like, engaging with it on YouTube. And I'm really sorry for anybody that ever posted any comments in a live stream that I didn't notice, because sometimes I just delete them, but let's see. How do I even access my life? I have no clue. Here, I found it. I'm joking. I should mute myself. Cool. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry. Just seeing this. This is far better than Discord. Interesting. Oh, okay. So, what Faisal is saying about the Discord sound, I guess, Faisal, what I wanted to ask is the quality better in Discord? I believe so. I feel like this is capturing my mouse clicks. It's so sharp. That's why I lowered it. And I'm looking at the actual. We've got volume today. Here to learn and share. We've got volume today. Can I like comments? Can I hide? Oh, bummer. Here to learn. Thank you. I don't know how to like your comment. Much better quality here, to be honest. The screen is clear here on YouTube. Interesting. What? The problem is that YouTube is delayed, but also I can see your point. I do have to clean up my Mac, one more reset beforehand. So, Iron Jaw, cool. Abshir, yeah, thank you so much, Abshir. Thank you, Hassan. Yeah. I'm so sorry, I'm just noticing the comments. Thank you for the feedback. I will definitely keep that in mind. I hope this is good enough in terms of like, or good for audio. Let me know if I can increase more, if it's necessary. But it's still jittering around the midpoint. Let me see if I can pull up the screen again for you guys. Application, window, display, right? And this is where it's at right now. This is how high I have it to prevent the red, because I think it creates some distortion. But if this is good, can you guys just give me a, I guess, good enough, or, you know, if I should increase it a little bit more. I'm not too close, I'm not too far from the thing. Holy cannoli. Oh my god, I had no idea. Not that I'm tracking it, to be completely honest. But oh, last time I checked, I think it was still in the low hundreds. You can increase it more. Okay, thank you. Testing, 1, 2, 3, still more. Let me see if I can push it into the red. But I also want to talk naturally, so that way, if I react on stream to something, Price doing something, I think it could be increased. Okay, thank you guys. Let's see, go full audio. But you notice that, like, compared to Discord, my mouse clicks don't show up in here. Oh, sorry, on Discord, the way it suppresses the environment sounds, right? There's a fan running. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but anyway, I just want to make sure that the quality is good. Let me check the comments in here. So, much better. Okay. Again, the YouTube stream is typically delayed by about 10-20 seconds sometimes. And what else? Yeah, let's go back to change this. Properties, display capture, application, trading view. Okay. Cool. So anyway, it's working well. Thank you so much, Overflow. Iron Jaw. I like the format. Discord quality. Interesting. That's so weird. Maybe it's because I'm running both too at the same time. It's not allowing the quality to be that high on Discord. Somebody gave me feedback in here. Hang on. The quality was better on Twitter. The screen came bigger. Interesting. That's so weird. Good to know. Nelly, thank you so much. I just saw your comment, by the way. Futures chat. I wasn't listening when I made the comment, but I'm listening now. I didn't realize you were on YouTube at first. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I'm just catching up to messages, but yeah. Again, quick overview for those, right? If you rewind a little bit more, I was just trying to explain why and how having the 4 hour, right, when it comes in, especially when there's like a news release, even if it's a medium to low impact, it's good enough for a 5-point trade, right? It's good enough to identify a point of liquidity where you can also see potentially some time frame flipping, some larger time frame flipping, such as the hourly, 4 hour, etc. And so in this case, for both MES and ES, not that actually, let's go back, delete MES because I told you guys I don't really chart it. I chart ES, I trust the big boy more, but that's the new 4 hour, right? 10 a.m. candle. Yes, it took it, but it opened much lower compared to the new hour that happened to be at 11 a.m. And so as I was discussing this, the short was presented in a better form because the new hour had come in with a higher opening price to just tick up, take the buy side that we were looking for earlier, right? If we look back this way, price came back, pretended that there's resistance, came back one more time, sweep, and then back down. And that was the same principle that we were explaining in here, right? It can be the daily candle, it can be a 4 hour candle. As long as it takes the previous 4 hours high, right, it makes it highly, not highly, it makes it a higher probability, right? Even on a medium to low probability day, you can still find a 5-point setup. That's the whole point. We're trying to be mechanical with it as much as possible. So with a new hour, most positions were just not working because everything was still green. Some positions obviously, like today was a mixed bag, and none of them were supposed to be taken because the rules are very specific. I posted it last night for you guys, right? I'm not going to be taking a trade. Zero live trade. It was just tape reading and explaining better entries in certain cases, right? Why a bigger gap can offer a midpoint of it and so on. These are just examples in real time, that way we can take advantage of. Are we going to retrace now? Sorry, 1 second. We just take advantage of like real-time price action instead of having to just look at it in hindsight. And so, but all in all, that's what you needed to focus on, right? Some higher time frame being taken back down, right? When it does that, you just look for a simple gap. If you find displacement, find the gap. If the gap is too large, don't put your entry at the beginning of it. That way, if I move faster, you guys are more ready for it. Let's make this 5 points. It's already pre-saved, right? We did that before. We saved the brackets to be 21 ticks for take profit, 20 ticks for stop loss, right? So instead of getting the beginning of it, which is typically what you want to get, if the gap is too large, you're not as protected. This FVG is massive, and the high is above that, right? At least the candle's high that created the gap. Therefore, it was far better, like we did with MES, getting the entry, following the rules of the midpoint of it. And that's what you have to do. Find buy side or sell side. Let it tip its hand, show you. See if there's more confluences. In this case, we actually saw that price, first of all, was actually trading into the new day opening gap from Thursday, Friday, which I have drawn in here in blue. My blue colors, anytime you see a horizontal rectangle like this, that's going to be a new day opening gap if it's blue. If it's purple, it's the new week opening gap. That's it. So and one more thing I added earlier, if you wanted the 5 points, you could have captured it and be done with it. But if you wanted more, never mix strategies or models or yeah, I guess models, right, in this case, because it is a 5-point model. Don't mix these elements in the same price, in the same account. You want to have it separate. So you can have a 5-point mechanical system, but you can also have another one that just makes it automatically break even, and see if there's continuation to capture that. That way you don't have that FOMO. Maybe you like that. It's up to you, right? That's your call. So I'm gonna take questions from you guys if you guys want. I don't know if you guys have any, but let's check. I have no clue what's happening. Thank you guys for the likes on Twitter and here. Let me double check the stream. Much better here. You can increase the okay. About 2 seconds delay from my side. Interesting, but all good. Discord does suppress the background, but I think you're still good in here. The fan isn't annoying. I've taken screenshots of Discord and YouTube for comparison. That helps add in future chat. Thank you so much, Faisal. Really appreciate it. Iron Jaw. Okay. All right. I didn't want to talk by myself. I actually don't want to. I think I can. Shouldn't I be able to talk on Twitter openly? Because I don't think YouTube does do that. But since I'm streaming in here, does that make it into a space for people to talk? Can anyone join? I have no clue. I truly don't have any clue. Hang on. I've never done this before. Regardless, I'm like, please post questions. Happy to help. Stop hitting the lower times. I do like this suite, actually. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up in here quickly. By T-Trades, right? I am actually on the lower time frame, but I was using higher time frames to formulate my idea. So let's just copy this as is and paste it on TradingView, right? Even though I'm on the 1 minute time frame, it's a specific model that can utilize it. It's supposed to be like that on the rules. T-Trades just posted this, I don't know, 6 hours ago, I guess. Did I formulate a plan based on lower time frames? No, right? In fact, I had the actual larger time frame candles right here next to me to keep track of the opens. Even if I don't have them, I still mark them. I'm still tracking where the 4 hour opened right here, where the new hourly opened, 11 a.m. Eastern right here, right? Why am I tracking that? To keep track of how the previous hour took, how this current hour took the previous hour's high or 4 hour or day or whatnot. And so it's so significant. But we waited for a reason for it to go lower, right? We were actually discussing this earlier, showing this on the 4 hour, and how even on the hourly you can still see that same outcome. And that's what we want to do, to keep it very simple. So any questions? Let me check questions. Agreed. Discord does suppress. I've taken screenshots. Thank you so much, Faisal. I missed most of the start, but no questions today. It was a great trade. It wasn't a great, so okay, so technically yes, it was a great trade. The one that followed the rules, followed everything that we wanted to see afterwards, yes, right? But on the upside, when it was still pushing up into spooling, it made sense. I obviously explained why it was likely to go up there, even though there was this divergence with YM. I didn't really trust it. I don't want to look at divergence with YM. I just want to keep it down to ES and NQ. I do believe it's more probable. Alternatively, we can join the gaming chat on Discord. Hang on a second. If we join the gaming chat on Discord, what happens then? 1 second. What happens then? How do I capture your audio here? I guess, yeah, it can work. Hang on a second. Thank you for the suggestion. I was trying to figure it out because I had no clue how we're going to do this. But this is going to make it a lot better. Thank you so much, Faisal. Really appreciate it. Okay. All right. So let's just actually open it on gaming chat. Because, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a Twitter space that allows people to speak. So instead, I have 14 spectators on my screen inside of the Discord. You guys, hang on a second. I'm going to say it right here. Right, you guys, I'm going to move us to a different, or can we move into a different streams? That way you guys can talk on voice and... Okay. Gaming chat, let's go there. You look like you're in the voice channel. Are you sure? Confirm. Done. Iron Jaw, can you hear me? Voice and video. 1 second. Iron Jaw, testing. I don't want to open... Oh, this is going to be a little bit weird, right? Because...
Hey, Raven.
Hi. Hey, hang on a second. Hang on a second. How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Because I have two microphones open. Or no. Discord, if I open the Discord microphone, it's going to be less delayed, but if I open both, it's going to create some form of echo. So let's just start streaming in here. And we're going to... I'm going to see if there's a way that I can... Iron Jaw, can you actually say something as a test? And I'll try to listen to it. It might be 10 seconds delay by the time he hears me, because I'm saying it on the Twitter stream.
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much. Delta. Let me check if your audio is also being captured through OBS into the stream. Perfect. Iron Jaw, thank you. Yep, I just tested it. I could hear you properly. So now we're running into a main issue. If I do speak on here, you're about 10 seconds behind, right? I'm gonna count in the background by the time you hear this. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You should hear it by now. You can respond to me in here. I'll hear you in real time because it's through Discord. I need to solve this. Why am I not realizing?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm just hearing you now. That's how much
I can hear you.
That's how much of a delay it is. So, if
Alright, okay, so
if I turn on the microphone inside
No,
of
okay, so
Discord,
I can-
it might create an echo. Number one.
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Oh gosh, that's awful.
Yep. Exactly. Hang on. Let me try to get to a solution. But the problem is that if I turn on the audio from Discord, we won't get it in the stream. Oh, wait. No, it still won't solve it. Does anybody know how to solve it? Yeah, that's funny. Hang on a second. Basically, the real-time audio on Discord is gonna be fast, just like how we're used to.
Can we just stream through Discord then under the gaming chat?
Yes. And I could just take that stream on Twitter publicly, I guess. Yeah, I like that suggestion. Hang on a second, just give me 1 second. Let me get another computer. Or actually, hang on a second. Somebody suggested 1 second. Let me reply to them. One moment. How does that work? Sorry. Under gaming chat. We can just continue as normal with the voice and stream. Got it. Got it. Let me get my other computer quickly and just put on this stream, and then we'll switch. Just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so no one's gonna believe this, but I got my, hang on, let me see if I can take a picture of this. That's funny. The CrowdStrike glitch thing, I finally got on my computer. Interesting. Okay. the blue screen basically. Your device ran into a problem and needs to restart. We're just collecting some error info and then we'll restart for you. That's my Windows computer that I wanted to stream from a different device on, but it's okay. So this is why, right? By the way, what I'm about to explain in here, I didn't like more downside. I think I said it probably like 30 minutes ago. It can still go down, but the fact that it already delivered to the main low where it came from is a good sign. Let's compare that to NQ, how far down it went. Did NQ trade into the opening price? That would be fast. No, not even yet. But it did. I did mention halfway. Half of these stops, if they trigger them, even, I mean, like, that's beautiful to see. And I don't know why my tool right here is glitching for some reason with OBS, but I might restart my computer soon. My blue screen is really stuck. If you call support, give them this. Why is this taking forever? Does anybody know how to fix the Windows device? It's on that blue screen, but like slightly different with a QR code, 0% complete. I don't know what's happening, but Iron Jaw, if you can hear me. I don't know if you work in IT. I think you said you do, or you have some technical background. Maybe, not too sure. It's not urgent. It's not as necessary.
Hey man, can you hear me?
I can, yes. Testing.
Raven, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm delayed.
17 seconds delayed. I'm counting. You can say something. Say what's on your mind. I'll stay quiet.
Oh my god. I'm gonna chat. I'm gonna I'm gonna write it in the YouTube chat.
Okay. That's so funny. Yeah, my actual laptop is stuck on the blue screen, and it says your device ran into a problem and needs to restart. We're just collecting some error info and then we'll restart for you. 0% complete, but it's been a few minutes already, and 0%. So weird. Come on, do something. Here to learn and share. Are you in the Discord with us? I don't know. I don't recognize this username, so you can tag me inside if you are. I'm not too sure. You need to restart Windows in safe mode and delete manually a file. Okay. Let's see. I have not turned this computer on for a couple of weeks, so it makes sense why this is happening. I don't even know how to turn on safe mode. Boot into safe mode. Joey, thank you so much, Joey. I really appreciate it. Restart your computer. Press F8 during the boot process to enter advanced boost option. Okay. So I have to forcefully shut it down. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Somebody tagged me in here. Iron Jaw. Boot. That is crazy. All because of CrowdStrike. That's insane. Ow. Computer's very hot. It was blowing when it was on that blue screen. Advanced boost option. Startup repair. Interesting. Advanced options, right? Because the other option aside from advanced is reset the PC, which I'm not going to do. There's a startup repair. There's uninstall updates, startup settings. Maybe this one. Okay, found it. Safe mode. They have it hidden now so stupidly that it's annoying. I don't know this. BitLocker recovery. Enter the recovery key for this drive. Use the number of keys or functions. Recover ID to identify your key. Oh, okay. I guess I have to go onto my Microsoft account. You know what? I'm gonna do this later because, oh no, but there is really nothing to do in price right now, right? So I do want to answer questions, but I'd prefer them to be on voice because I don't want to be talking alone, replying to like text. So you guys let me know what you want me to do. If you don't mind this, I mean it's lunch, price delivered, different sides. Your Mac is encrypted by. No. Not the Mac. This is the actual Windows. Better remember your password. Let's see. Let me try to log in my Windows. This is crazy. See, I thought as soon as I boot it up, I'm pretty sure the update shouldn't affect it because it would skip it. There would be a patch that doesn't even need to. Clearly, that was not the case. I need a few moments to find the account and log in. Right. But yeah, there's really nothing better to do at this point. I'd rather actually solve the issue with the audio. That way we can actually open questions on voice better. Because I thought that the Twitter stream would actually allow voice, but clearly it's not doing it. Thank you so much, Joey. Really appreciate it. Iron Jaw Joey, but all of you guys. Should be on my way. Now to figuring it out. All of this just to sign into my thing because I have encryption and whatnot. Okay. Again, nothing better for me to do. Price is really not going to do much right here. So, just give me a few moments. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings. What are my settings for video? Oh well. Okay, I got this done. Finally. OBS. almost done. I just saw your comment, Iron Jaw. Cool, I think we're good. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream. This. No, actually, I'm not gonna end it because it makes it. I solved it. Now I know how to fix it. Get out in here. Use this as my microphone.
watching on YouTube.
How about now? Let's see if we're getting any audio. I'm doing.
And I'm not too sure about Twitter, but it says 129 views. I don't know what that means. Views or viewers? On YouTube.
Oh, finally. Now, let's see if we're getting any audio. I'm doing.
And I'm not too sure about Twitter, but it says 129 views. I don't know what that means. Views? Viewers.
We're gonna get a bad echo. We're gonna get a nice, funny. Okay. I got the audio. Yay. Audio is in. Perfect. Okay. This is actually going to capture this really well. Ironjaw, can you hear me now? Sorry, we're trying to figure out the audio stuff. And I think it's solved now, finally. We can actually rewind into it. Joey, thank you so much. Ironjaw is muted. I don't know if you can hear me, but I think you should be able to now. And there should be no delay in the audio. We were just fixing it together. But I'll wait for him to unmute and see.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm gonna count down to 3, and as soon as I reach the number, I'm gonna count up to 5, and then as soon as you hear the number 5, you proceed to count upwards 6, 7, and so on. Right? I just want to make sure that there's no delay. So let's start with now. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
1 second, because like your mic was muted. I saw. Let's try it again. Keep your mic unmuted. It's okay. So let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8.
Perfect. Okay. If anything, it's like a 2-second delay. That's not bad at all. Obviously, way better than YouTube, which was like 17 seconds. So anyway, if anybody is in the Discord, you can join the gaming chat. I'm literally opening questions for voice, or just write it down. It doesn't really matter. Either way.
You will have to mute one source.
Sorry, what?
You will have to mute one source, I think, because it's giving an echo.
Okay. Is it still giving an echo or no?
Yeah.
Really? On YouTube? Hang on. I only have one source open.
Oh gosh, it's me. Let me see. Uh, wait a second. Raven, can you say something?
testing, 1, 2, 3. I am
You got it.
checking.
Okay.
You
So
got it?
I'm on Discord and I can hear you clearly. I've just muted myself on YouTube. Well, I've just
Oh,
muted
okay.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, let me rewind that a little bit on YouTube just to make sure that there is no echo of us. That'll be funny. And we have it muted and we don't realize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had both YouTube and Discord going at the same time. That's why I was so confused. Like you're counting like multiple times, and I was getting so confused.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow,
Okay.
this delay, awful. Well, at least you sorted it out.
Yeah, I need to figure that out. But basically, that's why Discord is the best one that doesn't have a delay. I think it has a 1 to 2 second delay, not more at all. But
Perfect.
yeah, I'm gonna keep the stream open. I guess there's 5 people on YouTube. I don't know if there's more on Twitter, but you guys can post questions under the stream if you guys want. At this point, I mean, why not? This. But yeah, if you guys have questions, I'm gonna try to figure this out. I thought that video streams on Twitter Spaces allow people to speak. I don't know if that's the case. You guys let me know. But ideally, if anybody has anything, tag me or post under the Twitter stream. Is there a way to just open up the mic on Twitter for people to speak, to ask questions? If not, just you can post questions down below in the comments. But yeah, the trade itself is done, right? The best trade that aligned with time and everything as soon as liquidity was like this trade was the only one that actually followed all the rules. Big gap, 50%, right? Midpoint of it. Also, hourly opening, better flip from here than the lower 4 hour here, right? Why do I have 2 4 hours? That's probably an old one. Why do I have 2 4 hours? It's a glitch. So this is the 4 hour that happened today. This is older. Sorry about this. Ignore that one. So following all the rules, following liquidity, right? The hourly taking the previous hour's highs and everything. This was the main trade to look for, even though a couple of them did work and we were trading against it as price was just spooling upwards. So it makes it very different when you have news drivers, even though they're like yellow, or orange, or red. Let me see if there's a way I can show you guys that, what I'm talking about. Our main objective is to utilize the Forex Factory website, and that's why today was a no live trade day. OBS. Let me change the actual screen itself. Forex Factory calendar. So capture this, change this to TradingView to Safari. Perfect. Right. I posted this last night for you guys, and who joined right here? Okay. For the member that just joined, you can open your mic if you ever want to, or write questions anywhere you want. But anyway, following the rules of the PDF, the idea is to capture trades that are lined up with time, and we're choosing this specific time window, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern, to see a sweep of liquidity. And if it just so happens to be in like around the same time a news event like this drops, then it makes it all the better. And today there was nothing. If we actually look up, the only thing I removed was all currencies. I'm only looking at US dollars to see the US markets. Right? If I add everything back, there will be some on, oh, not even, interesting, not even any other currency. I had no idea. Okay, cool. But going back to the filter, you want to remove all currencies, add US dollar, apply filter, right? To narrow down your focus, and then go into the yellow, orange, and red. But even today, gray folder did not even exist on a Monday. I think maybe that's why I'm missing it. Go back to the other currencies, all currencies. Not even gray folder for all currencies. So only US dollar. Typically, I just want to look at these guys. Typically. But I always figured, since there is no orange, maybe there is a gray one. I saved this in my bookmark. It knows to load it up the way I like it with these this currency only, and no gray folder. Surprising nothing. Therefore, I decided tape read only, no live trades whatsoever. Because we want to follow structure. We want to follow rules. And these rules are pinned in my Twitter page. If I can pull it up. But anyway, it's in the pinned tweet following ICT's Ends series, right? You guys, I'm sure, have heard of it. Some of you guys have heard of it. That's the whole point, right? There is structure to it. It's very specific. There's a reason why the 2022 model on 5 points worked the way it did. And the way I'm doing it for myself, just so we're clear, the way I'm implementing it for myself is I will be using this on a day-to-day moving forward. I used to try to capture most moves on NQ, and obviously you're going to run into greed and fear and whatnot. But at some point, you realize that consistency trumps everything, right? Goes over everything. And moving forward, I think I'm going to be doing this as my day-to-day bread and butter, while still keeping my main next day model trade for the week. So I'll still be taking the one trade a week, similar to like how MMXM or T-Trades does it, where it lines up with the weekly profile, just like what AM Trades also posted, right? He had a nice explanation, right, of how you were supposed to look at the weekly alignment in price, how it's likely to deliver. And that's going to be my highest probability trade that I take once a week on NQ typically. And on a day-to-day basis, ES is going to be my mechanical one. So that way I don't have to run into the fear or greed or any of that. It's 5 points. I don't care what happens. I want to be participating less in the markets. The more you stay, right? Just like insurance, car insurance, driving your car more decreases its value, but somehow the insurance charges you more money, right? It's crazy. Even if the car gets older, they still want more money. Why? As technically for insurance, you're exposed to more risk being on the road for more miles. That's literally the formula. So you drive more miles, your premium costs more because you're at risk more being on the road versus driving less. If you start driving less, then you have less a lower premium because you're exposed to less risk, right? And I'm talking about like national average, about maybe like 10, 12,000 a year miles. And if you ever sign up with any insurance company and you tell them, oh, well, I'm actually driving about 7,000, maybe 5,000 a year, it's a lower premium than somebody driving 15,000 or even 12,000. Same thing happens in the market. The more you stay on, the more you're exposed to risk, the more you're tempted, the more like you're human. We're all human. I'm coming at this. I'm trying to make this change for myself, right? For my family, for people that I care about. To show that it's, first of all, like low hanging fruit, realistic, not too out of the reach, but also lead and show the consistency, right? Lead by example. And I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. It's going to be an ES trade day-to-day basis, time-based, like what's provided in the chart in the previous stream. And then if I can form a high probability trade in the week, then I'm going to take it with NQ for those larger moves. You can see some of my trades that I took on the Twitter feed, in my Twitter feed. I think that's the balance that I want to achieve, to be completely honest. That way, it doesn't take a lot of time for me. That way, I'm not feeling FOMO or anything. I'm not trying to hunt for a setup during lunch hour on NQ when it's not ready, or any of that. Once a week NQ, sure. But ES, being done with 5 points means that I can go, make breakfast, go have a walk, catch some sun, whatever the heck it is. We're supposed to be, right? The whole purpose of the N series, if you actually want to listen to it, ICT N series, let's go. And I tell you guys that episode number 2 is not as necessary in the beginning. It's a little bit longer. So if you want to skip it until later, sure. It's an hour 16. But this is the most important one. It's a mindset thing. You should reflect on it and ask yourself, why am I trading? What do I want out of this? What do I want next year? What do I want end of year? And you shouldn't have unrealistic goals, right? You can dream big, but you also should have realistic, tangible goals, right? To where you're trying to reach the apple in the tree, aim for something realistic. If you try to get greedy, right, or you want more, whatnot, you can give back, and we don't want that. We've all been there. Most of us, right, in trading have been there. So dreaming big but keeping realistic goals that are tangible, reachable, is kind of what helps you proceed and climb up the hill with less resistance, I guess, right? With less obstacles. And so, to me, the reflection that I'm taking out of this for myself personally, I knew people. I know people, and I think I said the word "I knew" because they actually lost that consistency. That person I'm speaking about specifically, they would generate an insane amount of profit. Not too out of the ordinary. Not that they were like flexing Lambos or anything, no, but just a really good chunk of change that permitted them to technically be done for the whole week. Technically, like that's how large it's like a weekly profit goal met in one day. And that model that they had was specific to the morning open for some reason. Amazing. Which means that they were done with it within the first 30 minutes. Even before even this system starts, they were already done before the 30 minutes. That's how great the system was. Hang on a second. Let me get a charger because the battery's running low. 1 second. I'm back. So it's funny how much OBS drains the battery a lot, even on a Mac. This Mac literally can last all day. And even with streaming on Discord, it doesn't drain it that much. But then when you get to OBS, it pulls a lot of resources, a lot of battery. So please feel free to leave comments, questions in.
Raiden, can I ask a
Yes.
question?
Absolutely.
So I'm going through some of the documents, the incremental